Atowak is a Chinese brand that's really making some big moves with the design of their watches. They came out with a wandering hour watch last year that got a lot of attention. This is their toned down version of that watch. It's the Ettore Lite. It still gets an interesting way of telling the time. It's in the exact same case, and it's just as good looking in my opinion, maybe even better looking than their Drift. Let's flip the camera and take a look at the more affordable Ettore Lite. I love watches that are creative. I love weird watches, watches that display time in a different way than the normal everyday watch with 3 hands. Today we have a watch that does that and is inexpensive. Usually watches that do it are very expensive, like the Trilobe that I just recently featured on my channel, costs around $9,000. Actually has a very similar system to how this watch displays the time. It's insane, but true. This is under $700. That was a $9,000 watch. So we're gonna get right into it. This is Atowak, this is the Ettore. I have featured them on my channel before. I featured the Drift, the Ettore Drift. That was a wandering hour watch. This is not. This is their light. That's what they're calling it. But in my opinion, I don't think it's light in any way. I am really impressed with this watch. There is a center seconds right there. It's a disc that is partially lumed, and we'll do a lume shot at the end so you can see what I'm talking about. There's hashes on there, let you know that the watch is actually working. The dial itself isn't really a dial. It's just a portion of the, I guess, system of telling time here that creates a window for the seconds and the minutes. There's a disc for the minutes that is right below that seconds disc. That disc shows the minutes and hashes on there. That is also lume. Below that, there is sort of a disc hand. So the hand actually spins around. There are a few hands. I would imagine there are 3. And those identify the hours, which are printed on that dial around the right side of the watch, right there. And below that is just a hour track, I guess you would call it. And that's it. There's sort of a chapter ring as well. I'll do close-ups so you can see there's a lot of layers to this dial. And I think this is executed very well. Also, one thing I really like, more than I like in the Ettore Drift, is that they did not put the name of the brand across the case. They actually put it inside the dial right there. That is a textured portion of the dial as well. Really well executed. At the bottom here, it just says the name of the watch, and then of course that it is automatic. So this is an automatic watch. It gets the same case as that Drift. This is the gray version. That's what they're calling this. So this is sort of a gunmetal gray, and you have this line here that is lumed. I believe that was lumed on the Drift as well, but I think this has a little bit more lume than the original Drift that I had on the channel. You also get those lugs. Those are hollowed out, which look really good. You get a really nice leather strap on here, which is quilted. And again, something that you got on the original Drift as well. That Drift, I think, costs around $1,300, while this watch costs $649. I think it was even cheaper when they first were at Kickstarter. Now that is the price. It's still worth that price. It does get an 8 series Miyota. It does get a custom rotor, as you can see here, which obviously spins very freely. So you could just flick it and it spins wildly, which is pretty cool about the 8 series Miyota movement. That's kind of the reason why MB&F use it in the Mad 1. But there you go. Not the highest grade movement. It does not hack. It does hand wind. It is made in Japan. You do get to see it from the back, and you do have a screwed in case back. The crown does not screw in, so you're only getting 30 meters of water resistance, but you do get a large crown with that logo on here. Again, the same logo that you're getting sort of in the case back, and it is a large crown that is not screwed in. 30 meters of water resistance. This is really not a watch that you're gonna go get wet and do sports with. It's sort of a novelty watch that is a conversation starter, and in my opinion, something that you would wear around people who know about watches, who are interested in watches. This is kind of cool. Also, it's a watch that if you just don't want a normal way of telling time, this is a really sort of easy way, an entry-level way of getting into watches that look good and also display the time in a different fashion. So let's do measurements of this watch very quickly, and then we will throw it on wrist. So the watch, obviously is going to wear large because it isn't a small watch at all. It's 47.5 millimeters, and then the lug to lug is short, but it is that width that makes it wear large no matter what. So you have a 47 millimeter lug span, and that's just under 47 millimeters, and then the thickness is 14 millimeters thick. Again, not the thinnest watch either, and 7.3 millimeters. But the point of watches like this is when you look at it from the side, from the top, it just doesn't look like a normal watch, and it won't look like a normal watch on your wrist. And again, that's the point. So it's going to wear a little bit large. It's a little bit weird. It's meant to be kind of cool. Then you have a buckle on here. The buckle is milled, also the same color as the case, and it is signed with the AK, I believe, on here, which is their logo. You do have brushing and polishing, so the polished edge on the the circumference of the case, and then you have brushing that sort of curves down around, and then you have a little bit of line of polishing there, and then, like I said, the lugs are sort of carved out, and then the case back itself, the back of the case, is all polished, and you have brushing for the circular portion of the screwed-in case back. That's it. Quick release on the bracelet as well. The case is screwed together. You have screws right here, so it looks like it is screwed together. More than likely the reason why you only get 30 meters of water resistance. Let me quickly throw it on my 7.5 inch wrist, and then we will do a lume shot. Like I said, the price on this is $649, which in my opinion is actually very good for what you are actually getting. So today I have my Christopher Ward on. This is my Christopher Ward C63 timer, I believe they called this, dive timer, that was it. This was a limited edition of 150 pieces, a really colorful dial. I really do like that. But here you go. This is the Ettore on my 7.5 inch wrist, and I have to say, this is a brand to sort of watch. When I did that video on the Ettore Wandering Hours, after that, and I'm not saying it was because of me, but there were a lot of other channels that were doing reviews on this watch, and it caught the attention of some bigger channels as well. I think Watchfinder & Co. did a video on it, because obviously there are a lot of comparisons to brands like Edawak, who make way more expensive watches and sort of have a similar look to them. And there you go, 7.5 inch. This is a 47 millimeter watch. It doesn't wear huge, it wears large. Because of that small lug span, it does wear a lot smaller, but it still does wear large. It is 14 millimeters thick, and all in all, I think a very good looking watch for $649. Sapphire crystal, stainless steel case, and I believe they say that the dial itself is made out of copper and aluminum, aero grade aluminum or something like that. Obviously, those discs, you need a little bit more torque to actually work those, so I think they need to make it very lightweight. Anyway, there is lume on this, and I believe the lume is pretty good. So let's do a quick lume shot. So lume on here looks really good. That seconds disc is lumed, the minute track lumed, the hour track is lumed, and then the hour hand is lumed as well. So everything is visible at night. You even have a little dash where the minutes is, so you could see exactly where the minute is and get somewhat of an accurate reading. And then of course, the entire line on the top of the case is lumed, and it's actually pretty liberally applied with lume, so it's pretty bright. It's filled with lume. It looks great. This watch looks great for the money. $649. I really have to say, I am impressed with what they were able to do. And like I said, I've featured watches on the channel that has a very similar disc system as this. Of course, it's not coming from the center. It's a little bit off center on that watch. That's the trilobe. That costs $9,000. This costs $649. There you go. That watch has no lume whatsoever, which I think was a big missed opportunity. But again, there you go. $649 gets you a watch that actually has a very interesting case and a very interesting way of displaying the time. You can see that the lume on the indices has faded pretty quickly. The hour hand obviously hanging on, and of course that line of lume on the case hanging on very, very nicely. Anyway, tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. What do you think of this versus the more expensive Drift, which is $1,299 almost double the price of this. And obviously this gets almost 90% of what that watch is offering, except of course that wandering hours, which is a very cool complication. But this is giving you a lot of that style. You're getting the case, you're getting the lume, you're getting the same strap, you're getting a downplayed movement. Obviously this gets an 8 series, that had a 9 series. That's probably the biggest difference, of course, besides that wandering hours. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of this watch? What do you think of this brand making some pretty cool watches at affordable prices? Tell me what you think. Please also don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for the channel and I very much appreciate it. Please follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is WatchChrisBlog, all one word. I have some links down in the description. One of those links is to Whatnot, where I buy and sell watches. Also, there are tons of other sellers on there. And if you sign up with the link down below, you get $10 credit towards your first purchase on Whatnot, and you don't really need to buy anything. I do all of my giveaways there as well, so if you're interested in joining some of my giveaways, definitely sign up, go over there and join Whatnot. It's a great place for buying and selling watches. Anyway, thank you for logging on. I'll catch you guys in the next video.